So welcome to Jumbo IS and welcome to our lecture series called Daily MCQ Practice. In this lecture series, we cover a particular day's current affairs through a set of 4 to 5 MCQs. The idea behind this lecture series is very simple. We want you to revise your current affairs, and we want you to revise them by getting the much needed MCQ practice. Because MCQ practice would come in really handy while you're appearing for your prelims examination next year. Okay, now 4 to 5 MCQs on a daily basis would add up to more than 1200 MCQs from current affairs alone. I'm not talking about static subjects like polity, history, geography. For that, we'll have separate MCQ series. This lecture series is only dedicated to current affairs MCQs. And 1200 MCQs from the topic of current affairs alone are more than sufficient. You won't have to worry about current affairs portion while appearing for your prelims examination, provided you have made this lecture series a part of your daily routine. You're consistent and regular with it. All right? Okay, so let's start the lecture starting with question number 1. Consider the following statements regarding the office of Vice President of India. He/she is elected by members of an electoral college consisting of elected members of both houses of parliament. The resolution for removal of Vice President can only be initiated in Rajya Sabha. The impeachment resolution for Vice President is passed by an effective majority in both houses of parliament. Okay. Now look, the President of India, the office of President of India is the highest office in India. Okay. You know what's the second highest constitutional office in India? It is that of Vice President. Now, the office of Vice President was created by our constitution makers to create a backup option for President. Okay. If there is a situation when the President cannot discharge his duties, maybe because of poor health, maybe because he died, or maybe because he was removed, impeached, or any other reason. If the President is unable to discharge his duties, then his place would be taken over by Vice President till the time a new president is elected, or till the time the president gets back to good health, right? So Vice President's office was created as a backup option for the office of President. Okay, but Vice President also has another duty. He acts as the chief presiding officer of the upper house of parliament, that is Rajya Sabha. Okay, so he is called the chairman of Rajya Sabha. Okay, so he presides over the proceedings of Rajya Sabha. Like there is speaker for Lok Sabha, there is chairman for Rajya Sabha. Now, Vice President can be removed. Okay, but first let's talk about the election of Vice President. So, Vice President is elected by an electoral college. And who are the members of this electoral college? All the members of both houses of parliament, all the members of Lok Sabha, all the members of Rajya Sabha, whether they are elected members of Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, whether they are nominated members of Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha. They are all part of this electoral college who sit and vote. Okay, so he is elected by members of an electoral college consisting of elected members, no, elected plus nominated members. Okay, so this statement is false because it was written only elected. Now, Vice President of India can be removed. Okay, and the procedure for his removement is explained in detail in our constitution. Our constitution says that if you want to remove the Vice President of India who is acting as the chairman of Rajya Sabha, well, a resolution against him needs to be passed in Rajya Sabha by effective majority. And then after passage of that resolution in Rajya Sabha, it needs to be tabled in Lok Sabha, and it needs to be passed in Lok Sabha by simple majority. Okay. Now the resolution to remove him can only be initiated in Rajya Sabha. It cannot be initiated in Lok Sabha. And before tabling that resolution in Rajya Sabha, you have to give him a 14-day notice. Okay. So a 14-day notice should be given to Vice President of India. Then only a resolution can be tabled or introduced in Rajya Sabha. Now, question is, what is effective majority? So effective majority is that for this resolution to pass, you need to get the number of votes that is more than the total strength of that house. Okay. Let's suppose Rajya Sabha has 250 members. Total strength of Rajya Sabha is 250. Okay. And on the given day of the passage of this resolution, there are only 150 members present. Now, effective majority means that out of these 150, you need at least that many votes that are more than half of the total strength. That means from these 150, you need at least 125 votes in favor of that resolution to get that resolution passed. That is effective majority. Okay. Had it been simple majority, then you would have needed 75. Okay. But it's an effective majority. That means minimum number of votes should be equal to half the total strength of Rajya Sabha. Okay. So it needs to be passed in Rajya Sabha by effective majority. In Lok Sabha, it can be passed by simple majority. Okay. So the resolution for removal of vice president can only be initiated in Rajya Sabha. Absolutely correct. The impeachment resolution for vice president is passed by effective majority in both houses. No, effective majority in Rajya Sabha, simple majority in Lok Sabha. All right. So only second statement is correct. Only one statement is correct. The answer is A. Question number 2. Consider the following statements regarding European Union's Copernicus program. The program consists of Earth observation satellites, in situ sensors, ground stations, airborne and seaborne sensors. Copernicus Climate Change Services is one of the 6 thematic information services provided under this program. Before 2014, it was called Global Monitoring for Environment and Security. All right. The thing is, European Union has launched a program called Copernicus program. Under this Copernicus program, they would have launched many Earth observation satellites, many ground stations, many sea sensors, seaborne sensors, airborne sensors to monitor Earth, to generate information on Earth. Now, the purpose of generation of this information is to serve 6 purposes. One of those purposes is climate change. Okay. The other 5 purposes are atmosphere monitoring, ocean monitoring, surveillance, and many more. So Copernicus program has launched many sensors, satellites, and all that to generate information on Earth, and that information shall be generated for 6 reasons. One such reason is to study climate change. So Copernicus Climate Change Service is one of the 6 thematic information services provided under this program. Absolutely correct. Okay. And first statement is also correct. This program, Copernicus Earth Observation Program, was launched in 2014. But that doesn't mean that these satellites were launched in 2014. Before 2014, this Copernicus program functioned with a different name. Okay, it had a different name. It was called Global Monitoring for Environment and Security. So before Copernicus program, before 2014, Copernicus program was called Global Monitoring for Environment and Security, and this GMES was launched in 1988. From 1988 to 2014, it was called GMES, and in 2014, its name was changed. Some of the functions were changed, and it was called Copernicus Earth Observation Program. So this statement is also correct. All statements are correct. Answer is D. All right. Question 3. Which of the following statements are correct regarding El Nino Southern Oscillation? The 3 phases of ENSO are El Nino, La Nina, and ENSO neutral. ENSO occurs in extremely regular cycles of 3 to 4 years. La Nina conditions are associated with deficient monsoon in Indian subcontinent. Okay. Now, what is El Nino Southern Oscillation? So, Pacific Ocean, okay, especially eastern equatorial region of Pacific Ocean, just close to the coast of South America. Okay, so Pacific Ocean that is lying close to the coast of South America. That is called Eastern Equatorial Pacific Ocean. The temperature of that water changes in cycles. When the temperature of water in Eastern Equatorial Pacific Ocean is unusually warm, that event is known as El Nino. When it is unusually cold, cooler than normal, then it is called La Nina, La Nina. And when it is normal, it is called neutral. All right. So all these 3 phases are collectively known as El Nino Southern Oscillation. It changes quite dramatically. Okay. So the 3 phases of ENSO are El Nino, La Nina, ENSO neutral. Now, these 3 phases come in cyclical form. Okay. First El Nino would come, then neutral conditions would prevail, then La Nina would come, and then again El Nino would come. Okay. Now these cycles, this cyclical fashion of these 3 phases is extremely irregular, not regular. And it can, the time period of this cycle can be as small as 2 years and can be as large as 7 years. So 2 to 7 years. Okay. So first statement is correct. Second statement is false because the cycles are extremely irregular. Now, whenever there is El Nino, Well, you see deficient monsoon in India. Whenever there is La Nina, you see surplus rainfall in India. So La Nina conditions are associated with deficient monsoon? No, surplus rainfall. So 1 and 2 only. So question number 4. Okay. Which of the following statements is are correct regarding water pollution? Biological oxygen demand is an indicator of organic waste in a water body. Higher the BOD value, lower the amount of organic waste in a water body. Okay. Now look, water is polluted by many types of organic and inorganic waste. Organic waste is mostly human waste, animal waste, and other things. Okay. Now, this organic waste is decomposed by aquatic organisms. But these aquatic organisms require oxygen to decompose this organic waste. Okay. Now, the thing is that this oxygen is dissolved in a water body. So, if the oxygen dissolved in a water body increases, well, that is a signal that organic waste is high. Why? Because higher organic waste requires higher oxygen for its decomposition. So, biological oxygen demand basically measures the amount of organic waste in a water body, because biological oxygen demand is measuring oxygen dissolved in water that is used to decompose organic waste. So, higher BOD means higher organic waste in our body, in a water body. Okay, higher the BOD value, lower the amount of organic waste. No, it's quite the opposite. Only one. And last, which of the following statements is are correct regarding Bima Sakhi Yojana? It is an initiative of Life Insurance Corporation of India that empowers women aged 18 to 49 years who are class 10th pass. After the 3-year training period, the Bima Sakhis are eligible for development officers role in LIC. The scheme was launched by PM Modi in Panipat, Haryana. Okay. Now look, LIC has come out with a scheme called Bima Sakhi Yojana, which basically achieves the twin objectives of women empowerment and financial inclusion. Basically, what would happen is that LIC would select women who are at least 10th pass and lie between the age bracket of 18 to 70 years. So LIC would select them, okay, give them 3 years of training. In that training period, they would get a monthly stipend, okay, monthly cash allowance, and their job would be to promote financial inclusion, to generate more awareness regarding insurance among the general population. Okay, so they would act as field agents who would generate awareness about insurance among the general population. Okay, now these would be women, so it would generate women employment, women empowerment, and would also generate financial inclusion because people would be more aware about uh, insurance. Okay, so it is a scheme of Life Insurance Corporation of India, Bima Sakhi Yojana. Now, after their 3-year training period, they would be eligible to be hired by LIC as development officers. Okay, because they would be trained by LIC. Now, this scheme by LIC was launched by PM Modi in Panipat, Haryana. So, this is correct. It is an initiative of LIC that empowers women aged 18 to 49, no 18 to 70 years. They should be class 10th pass, but this age bracket was given wrong. So, this statement is false. After the 3-year training period, the Bima Sakhis are eligible for development officer roles in LIC. Absolutely correct. So, the correct answer is B. And with that, we conclude today's session. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. And I'm sure it has added a lot of value to your preparation. It would add more value if you revise this lecture also, because revision would allow you to remember these MCQs for longer periods of time. And you can revise these MCQs. You can revise their detailed written solutions from our notes. These notes shall be shared on our Telegram channel. And the link to our Telegram channel is provided in the comment section below this video. All you have to do is just click on that link. It will take you to our Telegram channel, and from there you can download the notes for not just this lecture, but all the other lectures featuring on our YouTube channel. On that note, I'll be signing off. Thank you so much, everyone.